Hello, operators. Welcome back. I am Leonidas. This is Nucleares. We're playing patch 181 currently, but we're in the middle of a bunch of hot fixes. So, yeah, note that some things may change after this video. It's very likely. And why that mattered? Well, we're not going to be actually playing that much. This is a guide to chemicals. An overview of chemicals. Lately, a lot of people have been having questions about chemicals, how they work, just wanting an overview. So that's what this is, an overview of the chemicals add-on module and how it all works, how it all, what it does, and the different parts to it. So we're going to run through it, and we're going to look at things. I'm going to explain things, demonstrate things without it necessarily running per se, but we're going to show a few things. So as you saw in the first, when you start a new game, you'll have the option to create or choose to have the chemical add-on enabled, and it gives you this warning that says, warning, this is only for advanced players, it can cause frustration, which is true. But I will tell you that after I've played with it for a while, I was very nervous and hesitant to start it because I was like, oh man, this is going to be difficult, this is going to be hard. And then once I finally took the leap and I've been doing it, I can't play without it. What? One day? Oh yeah, I think the last thing I did was blow this place up. But anyway, getting distracted. I find it much easier. It's actually, I kind of struggle if I turn it off when I make certain videos and do a startup and things. So anyway, I really like it. But here's when you enable the module, the add-on, you'll notice this is the first thing right away, that it adds this chemical treatment panel, whereas otherwise it would just be black. It's blank. For some reason, it's the only one that does not, when you click start with the plant ready, you have to actually activate it. All the others are already on. And there's a sister panel in the chemical room, which we'll go look at in just a second. And the chemical room is right there-ish. It's you can't really see it, but it's through there. We'll go down there in a minute. So that's the first thing. The other thing that you won't notice right off the bat is, but it enables xenon and iodine, or I believe they say in the UK, iodine and xenon. Anyway, I'm American, so bear with me. But this is normally, if you run without chemicals, these won't ever move. You won't ever see anything. It doesn't do anything, but you turn it on and now it does. So a quick overview: iodine is an element, and it appears, without getting too technical, it appears when uranium decays. What that means is that as our fuel reacts with itself, and you've got atoms that are breaking apart, being struck by nucleus and things, iodine is kind of a byproduct of that. Well, after time, about 7-ish in-game hours, iodine decays into xenon. Xenon's what we care about. So iodine is a precursor to xenon. If you have a bunch of iodine now, in 7 hours you'll have a bunch of xenon. Xenon can kind of poison your core. And it can cause it to lose reactivity, you lose temperature. It almost works like a control rod, but you have no control over it, as it were. But xenon also decays, I think, into cesium, if I remember right, and other things, but those aren't necessarily modeled in the game, so we don't necessarily care about those. But just know that iodine occurs almost immediately when you start your reactor up, and about 7 hours later, that iodine will become xenon. So you see a spike here, 7 hours you see a spike here. So that's how that works. The other chemical you'll hear people talking about is boron. Boron is another element on the elemental table, or table of elements, and we get it in the form of boric acid. It's a liquid solution. So solid boric acid, or solid boron, is dissolved into water, turns into boric acid, and that's what gets dumped into our core. Literally. in order to increase your boric, the boron concentration inside your core, because right now it's 0. Let me zoom back out. It's 0. I have to turn on this pump that takes boron from my storage tank found here and pumps it into my core inside here, this guy. And what boron does is acts as a liquid control rod. That's the easiest way I can describe it without getting too technical. Is you have solid control rods, which are actually have boron that we control here, right? These that we're used to. This is a liquid control rod. So now you have two sources of control rods essentially. Boron also helps reduce iodine and xenon, but I won't go into that too much. If you have chemicals enabled, you will have a much worse time if you don't use boron, because iodine and xenon will be very difficult to not necessarily control, because you don't exactly control them, but to push through and just wait for the peaks to pass. So keep that in mind. So boron, right? We turn on our boron dosing pump, and it pumps that liquid into our core at a rate where we'll see our concentration go up. The value will go up by whatever this number is. Max is 50. Whatever this number is every game minute. So if I were to turn it on to 50 at 9:36 game time, this concentration would be 50. At 9:37 it would be 100, and so on and so on and so on. Kind of, because the game is very intricate and it models all of these pipes are functional. Water actually travels through them. It takes time. There's heat loss, dissipation, and boron will travel through pipes. It will travel into pumps. It will travel into tanks, other pools. So it spreads. So when you first pump out the boron into, I believe it goes out this orange one here, when it goes into the core, well, as you're circulating it with your primary circulation pump, it'll go up those pipes and into the pump and elsewhere throughout. So it's actually reducing the concentration inside the core, because as it dumps in, say 50, what is it, grams per meter? Okay. Then some of that gets pumped out into the pipes, or seeps out, leaks out, things like that. So it'll constantly be changing. So just keep that in mind. And the lines here, this will show you how much you're dosing over a period of time. This will show you your concentration over time. And after it reaches about 30, I don't know, maybe it is exactly 3,500, your boron concentration, it stops. Anything greater than that has no effect. So 3,600 has the same efficacy of 3,500. 4,000 won't get you anymore. 54 doesn't matter. 3,500 is the cutoff. And that's kind of the balancing act, because the more boric acid, or the higher the concentration, the more boron you have present, the less control rods you're going to need. Because remember, now you're doubling up. So just know that as your concentration increases, you're probably going to have to pull more rods out in order to maintain the temperature that you want. I have other videos demonstrating this. Again, I'm just kind of doing an overview of how it all works. So that's sort of the explanation of this part of it. That when we start a reaction, and the more violent or the more rapid your reaction is and your temperature rises, the higher the spikes you're going to get, the more dramatic increases in these spikes. The concentration, which is the amount of reactivity, which is kind of the effect that it's having. I think if you right click it explains it. Yeah, it'll have, and then that you'll mirror that with the xenon later in the game. So just keep that in mind, that if you pull your rods to 80 to start and it just shoots up through the ceiling and then you cram them back in, well, you're going to create a massive spike in your iodine, which is going to create a massive spike in xenon, and hopefully you're able to kind of just sustain and push through it until that spike right, you get to the other side of it where it levels out. So just keep that in mind. There is some strategy to it, and when you start dosing compared to when you pull rods, some people pre-dose, right? They put it up to, say, 2,500, 3,000, 35, 31, whatever their number is, and then they start the reactor so that the iodine spikes are less. I've never done that. I don't like it, and I don't notice a big benefit, because if this is already at, say, 3,000, your boric acid concentration, you're going to have to pull your rods to almost zero to get it to do anything. You're going to have to pull those rods way out, and I don't like that. So anyway, but it's different game style play. You'll have to experiment and test on your own, but essentially that's what it adds. So it turns on iodine, which is a result of you pulling out control rods and the uranium reacting with itself. Iodine later becomes xenon, and boric acid, or boron in the form of boric acid, helps to control both of these. It also acts as a control rod. It cuts down the reaction of the uranium itself, and it's in a liquid form. Let's go take a look at the chemical room. Sounds like it's raining outside. Is it raining? Yep, it's raining. So to get there, we have to go to the control room, or I'm sorry, the reactor building. We were just in the control room. It's late night. I couldn't sleep, so I thought, hey, why not make a video, right? Is that what everybody does late at night? Here comes my achievement. No achievement? There we go. Okay. Oh, sorry. Welcome to the control room. Normally, if you have the chemical module off, there'll be a little like rail right here that prevents you from going in. There is a back way into it. I'll show you here once we go inside. But just that's the other thing that it turns on. Through here is a little tunnel secret maintenance passageway. It's not really all secret, but in it. Ooh, did you hear those sounds? Yeah, that's one of the sound bugs. And it goes all the way down there and actually goes outside. That's where the external tanks are for certain things. But even if you have chemicals turned off, you can go outside, walk through this tunnel, and get into the room. This is the back way, the long way. So, anyway, there's a G-Wiz for you. So there are a few tanks in here. We're going to explain what each one is. Oh man, that sound is terrible. Okay, so this is your boron dosing pump. This is the actual pump that takes boron and sends it to the core. So it looks like, oh, I was talking about the sister panel. Here it is. You gotta turn it on. And it has the same things and a few more, right? There are a couple extra switches that, for the freight pumps. And things are in kind of a different order. What you can see is a little different. So just keep that in mind. But it has a diagram. It still has these bar graphs up there. So anyhow, this is your boron dosing pump. It sends boron to the core. You don't need anything to start dosing your core other than to flip it on. You just turn on, oh no, I'm sorry, for the dosing, you just pick a number and hit set and it'll start going. I don't want to do it yet. I might demonstrate it later. And that's it. Where it comes from is right here. This is your boric acid storage tank. It has a fill level, which you can see on the panel down here as well as in the control room. Although up here it doesn't have a value. I think downstairs it does. We'll go look at that. Purge valve, if for some reason it was too full and you wanted to get rid of it, you can purge it. That's a manual valve that you'd have to turn by hand just by clicking on it. This, if you need to fill this, comes from our little hobbit door. These valves need to be turned to fill their corresponding tanks. Right now we're still talking about the boric acid storage tank, the reserve tank. So you would need to turn that in order to fill it. Yes, if you have this one open, it will fill that one with boric acid, which is a bad day. So I don't recommend it. This is the pump that takes it from the truck an actual truck comes, you connect to it and it pumps it in. If you have these valves closed, you will overload this pump and kill it, damage it. This pump raises and lowers the little nozzle to the truck that pulls up underneath here. If you want to see all that, I have other videos demonstrating it. It comes through here. You see these buttons: raise barrier, lower barrier. A pair also exist in the control room. Those are your security measures to keep out all the bad guys. Well, really, just to let the truck in and out. And then this, if you click connect with truck, it'll kick this pump on and it lowers the nozzle. And then this is what turns on that pump there to start pumping it in. Notice that it doesn't tell you, you don't get to pick which tank it goes to. You can only have one truck at a time, and it's gonna, whatever's in it is gonna pump wherever you have opened the valve to. So keep that in mind. We'll go over that in a minute. So from there, it heads to the core, and you have boron. There are some fuses and things. Now let's say that you, the way that I play is I use control rods. I put my boric acid up to a certain concentration. I personally use 3100. I don't know why I picked it, but I picked it and I like it. It works pretty well. And once I'm at 3100, I leave it there. Shut it off, leave it there. If I need to raise the temperature in my core, or maintain it so that as the fuel gets used up and I don't want it to fall, I pull my solid control rods out more and more and more and more and more until they hit 50. At 50, I stop. Then I want to get rid of boron. You can actually remove boron from the core, and you do that by filtering it out. This is the filter. It's an ion column. Actually, it's several. When you use them, they turn green, and you hear almost like a weird hollow trickling sound. And they turn green, and they have lines, and they kind of go down. Again, I have other videos demonstrating that if you want to see them. But that's where it filters out. So what it does is when you click on this this filter pump, it's this guy right here. And he pulls, if we look out the door, switch this to automatic real quick. Opening, there we go. So let's see if I can do this without dying. Please don't fall in. Maybe I'll go to this side. So you can actually see the pipes going to the core. There we go. So the orange one where the boron comes in goes into the core. And then one of these takes just the water that has boron in it. It pumps it up through here into the column, and then the same pump sends it back down the return, the clean water, the boron-free water, back into the core. And that's how you dilute it over time. Well, in order to do that, you have to open manual valves, and this is one that people forget all the time. You need both of them. They're right here. The outlet, which I believe comes, I don't know which way they go, to be honest. I don't know if that means inlet probably to the column, so it probably goes in this way and then out this way. But if you leave right now, these are closed. This is what it looks like when it's open. The way I remember, it's kind of like a gate. If you imagine, right now the door is in line with the tube, or the pipe, excuse me, so everything can flow through it. If I turn it this way, it's sideways, it's blocking it. That's just how I remember. I don't know. Anyway. And those need to be open, or you're going to overload your pump. Actually, it'll be dry. And maybe overloaded. No. If there's no water in it, it'll be just overloaded. So, in order to filter it, that's what you need to do. And as you filter it, you will see your concentration decrease. Again, I do demonstrate this in other videos, so you can see how that works. You can leave them open all the time. There's not necessarily anything wrong with opening and closing. I open them and leave them open. That's just my technique. But as you filter out boron, these columns, just like a pool filter or fuel filter, water filter, any kind of filter you can think of in the real world, it becomes used up. and its capacity for boron decreases. And it demonstrates those on the panel. Right now, it is right here. Right now, it's at 100%. It can accept 100%. As you use more of it, that needle goes down until it hits 0. Coolant pH, by the way, is not in the game right now. It can corrode pipes, but it's not been activated, so don't worry about it. And anyway, it'll go down. Well, in order to filter more boron, you need to clean out your iron column filter. And the way that you do that is with sodium hydroxide and water. Now, remembering back to my days of organic chemistry in college, if you mix sodium hydroxide and water, dihydrogen monoxide, it's an exothermic reaction. It creates heat, and it's not good. So the way that it's supposed to work in theory is that when you need to clean this, you open this valve for your sodium hydroxide reserve tank, and then you flip on the cleaning pump, which is this one here. Notice that it's a shared pipe, right? It's this black color, and you can see that, well, I'll go back up there in a minute, but you can see that both the sodium hydroxide and the water tank that's right above me filter and go through this pipe, and they go. Actually, am I getting the direction wrong? I might be. No, I guess I'm not. Anyway, they filter in through the ion column, and then the dirty, I don't know, cleaning solution, sodium hydroxide, comes out, and it sits in this waste tank down here, not to be reused. Go down here. This is the waste tank, and you can kind of see a little better if I back up that the water gets pumped in, I guess, through the bottom, and then up through the top, and it comes out and it sits in this waste tank and just sits there. And yes, the waste tank can get full, too full. AO cleans it for you. So he'll tell you if there's stuff in there, and you can pay him money, and he will empty it for you. Empty your waste tank. So once you have used sodium hydroxide, what you're supposed to do is you then close the valve, you open the water valve, and do it again with water. And then the water goes through and dumps out of the waste tank. That chemical reaction between these two things, the water tank and the sodium hydroxide tank, are not modeled right now. So you can have both of them on. I don't think you need the other one. So you could do just one and not the other right now. It's just not modeled. But that is eventually, hopefully, how it'll work and how it's supposed to work. These are all manual valves, right? All these blue ones that we see everywhere. This is an important valve, the M01 valve. Remember that one because we're going to talk about it later. So they got to be turned off and back on. And yes, things can seep from one tank into another if you leave them open. Again, purge valve, if for whatever reason you needed to drain it, it would go into that waste tank, or the waste tank down there, just like that. The boric acid tank, right? That little brown purge pipe comes out right here and then goes down into our waste tank. So that's the cleaning process. To get more sodium hydroxide, we already looked at that. It's the same process. It's this guy right here. So we'd use this valve. We'd get the sodium hydroxide truck to come up. We'd load it. We'd pump it, push it through, close this valve when we're done. And yes, this one needs to be open too. This one needs to be closed, or you're going to fill your water tank with sodium hydroxide, which is possible. Oh no. Actually, I take that back. Never mind. I was looking at these pipes wrong. So just make sure this is closed so it doesn't push it through. Yeah, make sure they're both closed. To fill this guy, M01 valve, that's where you filter it, fill it. And some of you already know where I'm going with this, but I will explain it shortly. So that's basically the chemical room. Okay, give a quick synopsis of the chemical room. This is your waste tank, where your sodium hydroxide and water and any purged boric acid or sodium hydroxide or water will sit. It can fill up, and AO needs to empty it. Sodium hydroxide and water clean the ion column, which is used to filter out boron from the core that's already been in the core. In order to do that, you need to make sure that manual valves are open for whatever you want to do. This is the only place to access them. They are not automatic. In fact, I don't think you have any automatic valves for any of the chemical components. I'm trying to think of any, and none come to mind. Yeah, none of those back on that automatic panel in the control room control anything related to chemicals. Please correct me in the comments if I'm wrong. But anyway, yes, waste tank, iron column that filters the boron, the brown boric acid pump, the filtering pump to filter out the core, cleaning pump to clean out the iron, the ion. Oh, I keep saying iron. Ion column, sodium hydroxide tank to clean out the ion core, filter core, water to rinse out the sodium hydroxide, boric acid reserve tank or the storage tank, valves to fill either the sodium hydroxide or boric acid, the pump to pump it from the truck to whichever one you're filling, and the pump to lower or raise the nozzle, mini column or mini console here to get your refilling going. Record scratch, tire screech. I just finished the video and went over to Discord and someone asked me a question and made me realize that I completely forgot this part of it. So I'm tossing it in. I don't know where in the video, but I've just cut away from my video. I'm inserting this, and then I'll stitch it back. So where I've talked about these chemical trucks, well, how do you summon them? Where do they come from? Well, they come from supplies and parts, and they're right here. Pretty easy. When you call for one, you can only order one at a time. Can't do more than one. And when you do it, it will. It comes. It's never on time. It's always late. So it'll tell you that it'll arrive in 2 hours from when you order it. I think it's like, I don't remember how late it is. 15, 30, 45, maybe 60 minutes late. Anyway, and you'll get a notice. It'll tell you, hey, we're at the front gate. And you got to let them in and do all the things. But anyway, that's where you do it. And if I tried to do another one, say for the sodium hydroxide, it won't let me because there's already one in transit. You can't have more than one at a time. And I don't think you can cancel them. I've never actually tried. Oh yeah, you can. Look at that. You don't get your money back though. Yeah. So anyhow, that's how you order it. And now back to our regularly scheduled program. So there's your quick synopsis of everything in the room. And then of course like I said, you have man, that sound is so bad. Hopefully you guys can't hear that much. I'm gonna turn it down. Okay, because it's just bad. And then of course your little auxiliary console that's mirrored up in the control room, which we're going to head to now. When you add boric acid, as I said, quiz time, it's in the form of a liquid solution, correct? So what happens if your core is full of water used for cooling and you're trying to add more water when it's already full? The answer is it cannot. So if you look at my other videos, when I play this, play using chemicals, I drain my core by about, well, I aim for about 75 cubic meters down to 2350, so that I can pump in more liquid from here. Because yes, if you just turn it on and get this up to almost to about 2500, you run the risk of killing your pressurizer, which will kill your reactor, and you'll have to do an emergency shutdown. It's really not fun, and then you got to vent the pressurizer system and cool everything off, and it's a massive headache. Yes, I have videos of me doing that on accident if you want to see the disaster that ensues. So you have to drain it before you start dosing. And if you want to dose more, you got to come and make sure you have space in your core. This, I don't recommend. I think the max is like 2480. Anything above that, and you run the risk of killing your pressurizer. I don't like to go over 2450 personally. Yeah, I just don't like it. So that's just personal technique, though. My gameplay. You do you. People can disagree with me if they want. Valve status. Remember all those different valves we talked about? It'll tell you which ones are open and which ones are closed. Right? So you can see what you need. Here's your fill levels. Notice here they have the numbers, whereas on the tanks they didn't. Yeah. If you needed to fill that water reserve, you gotta use the freight pump, the internal primary pump. Now it tells you which valves you need open. M1 is what you use to fill the water cleaning tank, water storage tank in there for cleaning. There's also a diagram right here. That's the cleaning water tank for the chemical room. It'll tell you the status of the valve, whether it's open or closed here, as well as here and over there, and in the chemical room itself. So just note that the other two valves, if they're all open, yes, they will all fill as the pump is on, but just keep that in mind. Two very important things. Don't push boric acid solution into a core that has not yet been drained a little bit. Don't drain it too much. You want the core full, but not full. And you want it drained, but not like drained. It's a balance. It's not as hard as you think. Check out my videos. And then again, pumps, you can activate them here, right? Connect with the truck. Activate it. You can do it all from here if the valves are open. Again, don't turn on all the valves, but. And then this is how you filter it out. It'll show you how much of your ion is left, your ion column is used up. This doesn't actually work. This is supposed to mimic or mirror this reactivity gauge, so you can help see if it'll help you see if your temperature is rising or lowering, but it won't give you a value. Value's broken. It just shows the little needle, which is not very useful right now. And I think that's it, guys. I can't think of anything else to show you. I might demonstrate a couple things just for fun. Let's do this. We'll turn on our primary pumps. And we'll go... Let's go 15, because that's normally what I put them at. It'll tell me that my... Reactor core coolant has started to circulate. Yep, sure has. So now I'm going to start dosing. We'll go 50. I will start at 50. And you will note that at 1204, right now you're going to see 0. 1204, this should go to 50 and then start dropping. Oh. It's spinning up. Okay, that makes sense. So it went up to, yeah, it has to work its way up to 50. So it'll get there. But you can see that... Oh, is it more frequent now? Oh no, the value is still changing by whatever it says under current every game minute. That's just the current is showing what speed the pump is at. So you can see it going up, and the reason the numbers are going down is because I have my filter on. If I shut it off, it's going to take a second for it to spin down. Actually, I should have done this. Coolant has stopped circulating. Yes, I know. Okay, so we gotta wait for it to spin down. And actually I can stop dosing to demonstrate this. 0 set. Whoops. 3. Come on. Man, take a while to slow down, don't they? And 0. So now, if I'm right, when I look at this, the number should not be dropping anymore. It's not. See? If I turn it back on, let's go quick. The reactor core coolant has started to circulate. It's dropping again. And it'll go faster as the pump speeds up. Because eventually this will stop dropping. Because it will have reach to the same concentration throughout all the pipes and pumps and everything that are all over. in the various tanks. So keep that in mind. Let's turn you off.
The reactor port coolant stopped circulating.
If you dump, notice how this has gone up, right? We talked about that. So now if I drain water from here via the RCV valve, not vent, RCV valve, and I open it, you will also see my concentration will go down because I'm literally dumping boric acid into the storage tank. Okay, you'll see this number going down, right? Because I'm removing water from it. Okay, what I just did was I opened the RCV valve and I drained from the core into the condensate storage tank, which just so happens to be this guy right here. I think it was at 120, so I probably took out 780 780 liters, right? But this stopped, which means this number stopped. Okay, so now I have boric acid inside my primary circuit coolant tank. It's not a lot, but if I then turn on my feed water pump, if I had enough in there, my concentration will go up. All of these things work together. You have to keep that in mind, that boric acid can hide in places and it'll come up and sneak up on you when you least expect it, and it can really throw your game off. Your temperature will start dropping and go, what's going on? All I did was turn on the feed water pump. Oh yeah, I've got boric acid all up in my primary circuit coolant tank. And now you've got to fight with that. So it's like flour, right? Wheat flour. It just gets everywhere. Sand. Right now, sand, you go to the beach, it just gets everywhere. You can never get rid of it. That's boron in our system. So as time goes, this will drop off, I believe. And they kind of, it's a moving, sliding, whatever you call it. So that was a little demonstration. Let's filter it. Show you how to filter it. We didn't do very much, but I think we can still filter it out. And I believe we can do it from our, I'm going to switch this to automatic too. Here we go. Okay. Run. Jump for the echo. Jump. It's not a good echo. Big room. Okay. Now, I'm gonna show the wrong way to do it, and what you'll hear. Let me turn my sound back up for you all. Okay, it's up a little bit higher. Hope I'm not blowing out your eardrums. Use caution. I just turned up the volume on my recording device. So now, listen to the sound that it makes when the valves are closed. Let's go slow. This is damage. Wait for it. Green means it's on. You're gonna hear this this growling sound as it speeds up. Maybe. Okay, so there's my dry and overloaded. No? I sped up time. There it is. That's what I was looking for. Wait for it. What? Yeah, like the creaking ship. That means it's, well, dry or overloaded. And I'm damaging it. Now the max is 24. So now we turn it off. Or actually we just leave it on and just open these. Open this one. Open that one. And all of a sudden, these lights turn off. It's no longer dry, it's no longer overloaded. This will turn green here shortly. Unless it's broken. Oh, yep, there it goes. That's the weird sound. Kind of cool. And if you look at my concentration, it's going down. Now remember, these speeds, or these pumps, take a while. Let me turn the sound back down. these pumps can take a while to turn off. So even if when you turn it off, it's still going to filter out for a little bit. Okay. If you needed to fill your water tank, these are a different color. Oh, and they're missing some stuff too. Interesting. Oh, look, it has a little valve. Yeah, look at that. That's kind of cool. So I'll bet if I open these, let's do. We'll clean it. We'll open that one. I want to open one of these just for kicks. Open that one. Let's see what it tells us. They light up? Oh, they sure don't. Well, that's a bummer. What did I want to... Oh, the M1 valve. I wanted to fill with water for some reason. I've already opened this one. I did. Let's close that real quick. Oh, yeah. That doesn't stop until you leave the game and reload it. So enjoy that sound. Let's turn on our internal primary reservoir. Do these ever light up? They sure don't. These ones do. Yellow means it's spinning up. And green means it's on at full speed. But we should see the value going up. Ah, didn't show you a number. Okay, we'll do it right here. See? Going up, filling. Are we green yet? Okay, maybe it doesn't go green. It made a liar out of me. Okay. Turn it off. Now let's say we wanted to filter our ion column, our really loud ion column. Close this guy. Open this. And I've actually never done this. I'm going to close these just because why not? Now we turn on our ion cleaning pump because you'll notice that our capacity is slightly lower because we filtered a little bit out. And we'll turn it on. Green light. And this should be going up soon. Shows that's that green color I was talking about. Maybe, maybe not. Waste tank, are you filling? Not yet. Oh, it might, yeah, it was working its way through. Okay, so now that it's there, I can turn off this pump, right? So we've got 100%. Alright, our waste tank should be filling now. Yep, there it is. I guess it just took a while to work its way through the pipes. And so now I would go up and swap these for the water. Off. On. And turn it on again. Slow. And I should see my water reserve drop. And how do I know when my sodium hydroxide's out? I'm guessing that's what the pH level is supposed to tell you. That's my guess. Because I believe sodium hydroxide is basic. Ooh, that's stretching my chem days. Maybe it's acidic. I don't know. I think it's basic. Isn't it basic? NaOH? I don't know. Anyway, but our where's our waste tank? It's filling up, right? And so we will turn that off. And I am going to generate. I'm gonna come back. Get a what do you call it? Maintenance report, and I'll be right back. Okay. So now we're back, and you can see that these have been used, and it's is it not even? Oh, chemical waste 1. And so I don't even know if AO would. Oh yeah. So $500 and he will empty it. It takes him half an hour. So anyway, so that's how that works. I mean, there's fuses up here and things. I don't know what else there is to do. I'm gonna get out of here because that's loud. I gotta go. Oh, let's turn these back on. All right, let's turn these on. Don't want to forget. On. Turn this one off. That's off. Good. Well, I guess there's not really a reason to turn that one off. We could leave it on all the time. I'll do it for fun. Actually, I take that back. There is a time. I'll explain it once I'm out of here because that's loud. I turned it down for you guys, but not for me. Oh, it's not so bad over here. The reason is because if I want to fill this tank or that tank, it uses the same pump to fill this one, that one, and the little cleaning water tank in there. So if I left it open, it was like, hey, I need to pump 120,000 liters into here. Well, I would also be pumping 120,000 liters into the little guy in there, which is problematic. So I guess I don't want to leave it on all the time. But I will show you what it looks like to have one of these valves open on the diagram of the control room. So let's hurry back. It just turns green. It really is all it is. And I can do all of that from that you saw me do, minus changing the or moving the valves. I can do all of it from the control room. Whoa. So there's the valve showing open. I don't know why it was broken on the other one. And there's the other one that I have to open right for the boron tank. And so I can connect and do things. Here's my green indicators here, showing me which ones are open. And oh, left sun closed. Don't ever leave these actuators on. Close or open. Switch them to off. Yeah, there you go. So that is an overview of how the chemical system works. This is just a pretty picture of what's going on inside the core. It's not meant to be used as like a tool. It's just pretty. It's just fun to look at. Don't look at this and go, wow, look at all that boron I have all over. It's like 10%. No, it's not. It's trace amounts. The max is 3,500. We're not even at 1%. So, well, yeah, we are. I can't do math. You know what I mean. We're not at 10%. So anyway, I think that's it for chemicals. If you guys have questions, drop them in the comments. I do read the comments. I do respond to the comments. Jump in the Discord. Ask there. Find people who have used this stuff. I'm not, there's lots of good information in the Discord. Say hi to me. Say hi to GA. And yeah, I think that's it for now. Thank you so much for stopping by. I'll see you again soon. I am Leonidas.